Award-winning piano virtuoso Herman Whitfield III, who is black, and that's important in this story, died in 2022 after he was repeatedly tasered, handcuffed, pinned to the ground by Indianapolis police officers. Whitfield's family had called 911 to ask for help as their son experienced a mental health crisis in their home. But instead of sending an ambulance as requested, police officers showed up and attacked Whitfield, even as he said he couldn't breathe while being restrained. Whitfield's death was ruled a homicide. A jury acquitted the two Indianapolis officers.
Oh, this just happened.
Just happened. They called the cops, and this goes under our ongoing series called Don't Call the Cops. We have an ongoing special.
Also, James makes a great point. Has anyone had a nervous breakdown or panic attack? There's no self-control. Yes, as somebody who's had a panic attack, there is no self-control. And yeah, I just wanted to, since you mentioned that, and also so awful because like we're programmed to call the police when something like this is happening, when somebody's having a mental health crisis. You're not told, call someone else. You're told to call 911, which is the dumbest thing to do in that situation. So I just wanted to share this. I don't know if you want to pull it up on, it's don'tcallthepolice.com. And it has...
easy to remember.
Yeah. It has a resource list by city of places that you can call that are not the police. Like, you know, for housing, like there's a helpline, including like food access, you know, there's different resources for LGBTQ folks, and mental health. There's a Baltimore crisis response hotline offering mental health support and referrals. I just clicked on Baltimore because that's where we are. But like, there are also cities that have an agreement with dispatch that, hey, if you get a mental health call, please send it to us. That's not even here. But there are cities, like I think one is Eugene, Oregon, where if you call the 911 dispatch and you're having a mental health, they know to send it to a different place. I can't remember what it's called, like White Doves or Birds or something.
Yeah, Portland has some. I think Denver maybe has some.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are places that have that agreement with dispatch, but there are most of them who don't. And so here is your alternative for those. Don'tcallthepolice.com. Share it with your community. If there are resources on there that you know about that aren't on there, please let them know. They have a contact page. We need to stop. Like, unless you're in an episode of CSI where there is a dude with a gun.
Unless there's an axe murderer directly behind you.
You just don't.
Don't call the cops.
Don't call the cops, okay? If you think that you saw someone, don't, because it's probably Skittles, okay? Just don't call the cops.
But also, even if it were Skittles or whatever, like you think you saw something and then the cops show up and they accidentally kill you. And this happens all the time.
Yes, it does.
Someone's like, there's someone outside my house. Then the cops come. They don't find the person. They're like, well, we got to do something. Let's barge into this house. Oh, the guy, I smell some weed in here. And then things unravel and they end up killing you or arresting you. So maybe get locked up for a few years because you called the cops. And by the way, those stories do not get reported on the news, even the indie news. It's not like man to spend year in jail after calling cops. That would be a boring story. But in fact, that happens to people endlessly across this country. Hey, someone outside is suspicious. I'm going to call the cops. They arrive. Oh, do we smell weed? Now we can go through your house. Oh, we found some drugs. You're going to jail. It's insane to call idiots with guns to anything unless you have other idiots with guns after you. There's no reason.
Yes, absolutely.
But yes, so unfortunately, there's another story that hasn't gotten nearly the press of the Daniel Penny story. This man, Herman Whitfield, who apparently was also a piano virtuoso. So